Dear students, great day. Let us start our session with Geography 2 Landforms. The objectives are different landforms created by river, by glacial action, by wind action, by sea wave. Introduction. The surface of the earth is not the same everywhere. The earth has an infinite variety of landforms named mountains, plateaus, plains, valley, etc. These landforms are a result of two processes, that is endogenetic process and exogenetic process. Endogenetic process is nothing but internal process of the earth. Exogenetic process is nothing but external process of the earth. Gradation is the process of leveling of highlands through erosion and filling up of lowland through deposition. Landforms. How landforms are formed? The landscape is being continuously worn away by two processes, that is weathering and erosion. Weathering is the breaking and falling apart into small pieces of rocks on Earth's surface. Erosion is wearing away of landscape by different agents like water, wind, ice and sea waves. Eroded materials is carried away by water, wind, etc. and eventually deposited. The process of erosion and deposition create different landforms on surface of earth. Rivers. The water flowing from its sources to river mouth along a definite course is called a river. Rivers generally originate from a mountain or hill. The place of origin of the river is called source. The place where it joins a lake or sea or an ocean is called as river mouth. In this picture, we can see the different river system and resultant lands like river source, meander, waterfall, tributaries, oxbow lake, delta, etc. Let me discuss about one by one. V-shaped valley. This is a picture of V-shaped valley. The running water in the river erodes the landscape, which creates a steep-sided valley like a letter V is known as V-shaped valley. Waterfall. Falling of river water over a vertical step in the river bed is called riverfall. It is formed when the soft rocks are removed by erosion. Example for waterfalls are Kutralam Falls in Tamil Nadu. The highest waterfall is Angel Falls of Peninsula in South America. The other waterfalls are Niagara Falls located on the border between Canada and USA in North America. Victoria Falls is on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe in Africa. Waterfall retreats upstream. Pungal Pole is a hollow feature at the base of a waterfall which is formed by cavitation. Olival fan is a deposition of sediment occurs at which the river enters the plain or the foothills. Meanders. The twist and turn of the rivers. As the river enters the plain, it twists and turns forming large bends known as meanders. Example, meanders along the river Velnar near Chethiyathop in Kadalur district in Tamil Nadu. Formation of Oxbow Lake. Due to continuous erosion and deposition along the side of the meanders, the ends of the meander loop comes closer and closer. In due courses of time, The meander loop cuts off from the river and forms a cut-off lake and also called an oxbow lake. Sediments, floodplains, and levees. At times, the river overflows its banks. This leads to the flooding of the neighboring area. As the river floods, it deposits layers of fine soil and other materials called sediments along its banks. This leads to the formation of the flat fertile floodplains. The raised banks are called levees. Tributary and distributary. Tributary means a stream or river that flows into and joins a main river. Distributary means a stream that branches off and flows away from a main stream. Delta. The velocity of the river becomes so slow that it begins to deposit its load. Each distributary forms its own mouth. The collection of sediments from all the mouths forms delta. Deltas are excellent productive land. They have more minerals which favor for cultivation. Example for deltas are Kaveri Delta, Ganges Delta, Mississippi Delta. Glaciers. A large body of ice moving slowly down a slope or valley due to gravity is called a glacier. Glaciers are grouped into two types: mountain or valley glacier, continental glacier. Kinds of glacier. Continental glacier. The glacier covering vast area of continent with thick ice sheet, for example Antarctica and Greenland. Mountain or valley glacier. It is a stream of ice flowing along a valley. It usually follows former river courses and are bounded by steep sides. Example: the Himalayas, the Alps. Formation of circuit. This is a formation of circuit. Glaciers erodes the landscape by leveling soil and stones to expose the solid rock below. The circuit is a glacial eroded rock basin with a steep side wall and steep head wall, surrounding an armchair shaped depression. Example for circuit are Corrie in Scotland, it is in United Kingdom, Car in Germany. Aerators. As the ice melts, they get filled up the circuit with water and become beautiful lake in the mountains called an Taran lake. When two adjacent circuits eroded towards each other, the previously rounded landscape is transformed into a narrow, rocky, steep-sided ridge called Arates. U-shaped valley. U-shaped valley is found beneath the glaciers, which is deepened and widened by lateral and vertical erosion. The material carried by the glacier, such as rocks, big or small, sand and slate, get deposited. These deposit forms glacier. So the materials such as the rocks, that is big and small, sand and slate get deposited to form glacier moraines. Next, wind, an active agent of erosion and deposition in the desert is wind. In deserts, we can see rocks in the shape of mushroom called mushroom rocks. Winds erode the lower section of the rock more than the upper part. Therefore, such rocks have narrower base and wider top. This is an example for mushroom rock. Inselberg, an isolated residential hills and standing like a pillar with rounded tops are called Inselbergs. Example for Inselberg is in Kalahari Desert of South Africa. Sand dunes. When the wind blows, it lifts and transports sand from one place to another. When it stops blowing, the sand falls and get deposited in low hills like structures. These are called sand dunes. The crescent-shaped sand dunes are called Barshan. This is a picture of Barshan. Loess. When the grains of sand are very fine and light, the wind can carry it over very long distance. When such sand is deposited in large areas called loess. Large deposits of loess found in China. Coast. A part of land adjoining or near the sea is called the sea coast. The boundary of a coast where the land meets water is called coastline. The coastal areas subject to change due to wave erosion and wave deposition. Sea cliffs. Sea cliffs are steep rock faces formed when the sea waves dash against them. This is a picture of sea cliffs. Sea cave. Sea waves continuously strike at the rocks, cracks develop. Over time, they become larger and wider, thus hollow-like cave formed called sea caves. Sea arches and stacks. As the cavities of sea caves become bigger and bigger, only the roof of the caves remains forming sea arches. Further erosion breaks the roof, only walls are left called stacks. Beaches and sandbars. The sea waves deposit sediments of sand and gravel along the shore for beaches. Sandbar is elongated deposition of sand or mud found in the sea almost parallel to the coast. Lagoon. It is shallow stretch or water partially or completely separated from the sea. Example, Chilka Lake in Orissa, Pulicat in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, Vemnad Lake in Kerala. In this session, we learned about landforms, major agents of exogenetic forces like river, glacier, wind and sea waves, tributaries, distributaries, delta, glacier, wind, beach and sandbar. This is the activity for you. Find out the names of a few rivers of the world that forms a delta with the help of atlas. This is a worksheet for you. Learn it and write as a home test. Thank you.